today I'm going to introduce you to my very unhappy blue metal, which has been healthy for 6 months, but at the moment it's starting to have a little bit of a tantrum. So I noticed quite a few of the leaves on the base were drying up at a rate faster than usual. It's totally normal for you to get these leaves drying up on the bottom of the plant. That's how it feeds new growth if it's not getting enough water. But when they start to go like this, almost got this kind of translucent colour about it. The difference between this and this is that this one's just drying up because it's drinking. This one is actually rotted off. And here's another clue. These perfectly healthy leaves have come off as soon as I touch the plant. So if we look at some of these others around the bottom here, just by me touching the plant, a lot of these have started to come off. And if we get in even closer at the bottom here, we can see the culprit. If you have a look at the blackening stem, I'll just see how close we can get in and still focus on that. That's about our limit. So we have from here, this section, all the way down to this section is showing as black. So basically that would mean that it's rotting inside. So it could mean anything. Anything's gotten inside it. The most common thing that we say about this kind of rot is overwatering. If anything, this one has been significantly underwatered, and it's also in a terracotta pot. Some of the leaves are still a little bit flimsy even from being underwatered, so it's more likely that it came with some kind of rot in the roots. You'll also see under here, these little holes. I've actually recently just removed some flowers. They take way too much energy away from the plant, and that's why it's leaning over like this. Unfortunately, may have gotten in a little bit too late by not paying it a bit of attention quicker. So here's what we're going to do. Are we ready? Now if we look down here, that's actually all the way down the bottom. But what I was hoping to do, still leave some of this because we've actually got some roots starting to take. But we need to get rid of all of that rot. I really should use a much better pair of scissors than what I've got. Goodness me, it's in a very bad way. Okay, so you can see right in the stalk there. So this type of rot doesn't just happen for one reason. So I know it's a lot of the forums online will say, oh, it's overwatered. I can assure you it is an underwatered plant and it is still rotted. Well, we do have the occasional mealybugs around here. It doesn't look like it has any of those either. So the only way to even attempt to salvage this plant is to try to get rid of all of it, which means we've got to go all the way up to here. We're not going to be left with much of a plant. So let's get rid of all of these. There's life in one side of the stem and not the other. So all of those leaves that came off just to the touch were part of this. Sorry about that focus point there. That's not better. So yes, all the leaves that came off were attached to this part just here. Alright. Gonna go all the way to here. So we still need to have a little tiny bit of stalk to be able to put into the ground as well. So I need quite a bit of healthiness. You see, as I'm lifting the leaves, I'm sort of twisting them a little bit and you'll hear that little popping sound. What you want is for there to be a little bit of a dint left where you've gotten the leaf from, and you want this to be nice and intact on the end. So it's your leaf node where a new plant might grow. Anything that rotted and came off through rotting is probably not going to grow. And I find I don't have a lot of success with these big leaves anyway, but we'll see what happens. Okay. I'm going to take, oh, the poor little thing, it's not quite what it used to be. I want to take off all the way up to here. You can even feel it's mushy, even on this part that's not black, so the rot is really spreading. Right, you can see it's all the way up the center, so the likelihood of this being there, excuse me, when I bought the plant is very high. Alright, still more rot. So you see we've basically run out of stem here. If we cut any more, we've only really got one more round of flowers before we completely run out of stem. And you may be saying, stop, stop. No matter what we do here, if we end up with any rot still left in this stem, it's just not going to grow a healthy plant. It's going to rot. That's all there is to it. So if we can't get enough stalk to actually regrow, then we've unfortunately lost our blue metal. And while there might be many different suggestions, oops, see, that's not how you remove a leaf like that. That will not grow. If anyone's got any suggestions on how you would salvage it, feel free to post them in the comments. But sometimes you just gotta let go. And I think this is one of those times. And the lesson is try not to buy plants from crappy chain stores. However, I still bought a few plants from collectors that do this as well. So. Alright, I think that's about all we're going to be able to take before we no longer... yeah, there's still a little bit of rotting there. So I'm going to try to, might put some cinnamon powder and a few other little tricks on that and see if we can't get that to stop rotting. But in reality, I think we're saying goodbye to blue metal, because you'll see down here, even the stalk that's left, that's rotted. So while usually we might get some babies off the sides here, the chances are very, very slim. I'm sorry that this is such a sad story with a sad ending, but where there may be some hope is here in these leaves that were still attached to healthy parts of the stem. So I'm going to lay them on some dirt and see what happens. Check back in a few months.